What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about the SPY as we head into FOMC tomorrow. We'll get those minutes released. We're going to see what goes down. I like to just track things for some reason, and I kind of try to find a pattern or something to give me a little bit of expectation as to what could realistically be an outcome. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, if you don't mind, hit the like button. I'll get right into the information. As always, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. It's just for entertainment purposes only, so let's be entertained. All right, so all of the hearts on the screen are basically our FOMC minute release days that we have and kind of the activity that went on from the FOMC. So I didn't write these out, but as you can see, the open was 440 and 70 cents, and it looks like it closed at 433.47 there. This day back in March, we had an open of 433.05 and a close of 435.61. I did write these dates down. So we had an open at 417 here in May, and we closed at 428. Coming over here to June, opened at 377, closed 379. So I think you guys are starting to see the pattern, right? We opened here in July 394 and we closed at 400. And then even all the way up here at the top of our trend line on that FOMC back in August, it looks like we opened around 425.91 and we actually closed out green still, even being that high on the trend line, close at 426.91. Now, not to say that there wasn't some jockeying around in there so you can just play calls a little bit higher than whatever it opens at and you're going to be good. No, you could get eaten alive throughout the day with all of the swings that are going to go on, jockeying for positions before it actually comes out, and then the talk and all of that fun stuff. But so far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going back even 6 of our FOMC meetings, every one of them seems to have closed out higher than what the market actually opened at. Now, what I'm looking at is kind of where we sit in the grand scheme of things. We're way down here. Things aren't good, right? I mean, obviously things aren't great. We're going to see what Russia says, apparently, with some news that came out. Probably destroyed a lot of SPY, SPX call options, whatever you had rolling today whenever that news hit about Putin going to make an address to Russia this evening. We'll see what he says. Could that have an impact on us overall? Well, we've seen the impact that it had on us earlier whenever that news came out, so maybe they already factored in what they think is going to happen, worst case scenario, because we were on a pretty decent move. And, coming along with that news and what will actually go down with FOMC, just kind of wondering, what do you guys think? You're welcome to leave it in the comments. Do you think we're going to get a 100 basis point hike, or you think it's going to be the 75? Just looking over a lot of the news headline articles, said that the Fed will likely refrain from a 100 basis point rate hike this week to avoid unnerving already anxious markets. Now, I think we could agree that the markets do seem very anxious, right? They're not settled. We have so much volatility going on in the markets, and it seems like as soon as they are settled, then they're just waiting for the next thing. So they're all worked up about what's going to actually go down. Investors are pricing in a 20% probability of a rate move of the full 100 basis point. So I personally don't think that they will throw the 100 basis point at us. And I do think that at least the 75 is factored in, if not much more at this point where we are sitting. This is a generic trend line that I have that's been drawn up for quite a while. It's just kind of hitting some of the spots along our run from way back in 2016. I could take it back even farther if I wanted to, but it'd still come out to about the same general area. And it's just my guess, but that puts us, where tomorrow, I guess worst case scenario would be 371 in my opinion, which seems very, very insane and drastic if it was even going to work its way all the way down to that level and use that as a bouncing point right now. With FOMC tomorrow and how low we actually are as we're falling down here in this broadening wedge and having that support line, I'm almost thinking that we get a very strong bounce to the upside. Now, I don't know that for a fact. I don't, obviously the problems aren't solved, but it's all the game, and we just want to play along with the game. So we kind of look back to what's going on and try to make any sense of it that we can, if possible. And I was wondering, like, did any of the numbers, whatever they were doing, did it have any impact on us at all as far as positive or negative? And I couldn't really tell that it did. All I could tell is we're just bouncing in this channel, however big money wants to bounce us. But as I see us getting here, we are kind of in no man's land, I would say, if not for this trend line that was coming up. So that gives me a little bit more confidence that we don't have to worry about possibly coming down and hitting the bottom of that broadening wedge anymore. But nothing's off the table for sure. I'm not telling you that it never will, but having this trend line that just kind of increases my confidence that we are actually probably closer to a support line to send us in the other direction than we would be, farther away than falling down. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on. I want to see if we do, in fact, close out tomorrow higher than what we open the markets at. And I think if it's a 75, I think we're going to see a lot of things run. I'm looking forward to it. Really, I just want to see us kind of get back into a little bit of a bullish run, a bullish phase, and kind of see some of your favorite plays probably come back to life. That would be a little bit of a morale boost, if nothing else. Even if it is short-lived, at least it gives us something to be a little bit joyful of. Unless you're just unless you're a bear or a perma bear, or you're strictly playing puts, I have nothing against it. Play the market either way it goes is what I say, as long as you're playing with the trend and making money. So I don't really care which way you play the markets or what your overall sentiment is, but I just like to think long term. I like to think, retirements. I like to think pensions. I like to think about other people and what their money is actually doing, because they might just be invested for retirement. They're not here actively playing the markets. They're not cashing in on puts every day and rejoicing when the market goes down. And I don't necessarily want to be that person either. I will play puts if the market's going down, but I don't want to come on and just act like I'm rejoicing about something terrible for so many lives around the world. So I am ready to see this thing get a little bit more bullish, but we can't make it happen. So let's see how all the news plays out with Russia this evening. Let's see how FOMC goes tomorrow, and maybe that will push us on the right track to be back into a bullish run. I think there's plenty of upside that could happen. Now, it doesn't have to come tomorrow immediately, but I think it could set us up for just something a little bit more positive. Even if we were down here, we saw some jockeying around, but eventually it led to a really nice run for quite a while. So can we get that again? Being down here close to the lows and having all this headroom, I would like to see it. Let's see what happens. Thank you guys for coming back. If you don't mind, you can drop a like. You're always welcome to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the updates. I will catch you guys in the next one. As always, stay golden, people, and may your accounts stay green.